All right, we're just looking for Chris. Miss Hannah's looking for him too. Miss Hannah, did you find him?
Here he is. He's sleeping.
Oh my gosh. Chris!
Cue the theme music. We're just boys and girls. Oh, what? We can still wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. We can still wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. We can still wake up the world. We're just boys and girls. We can still wake up the world.
Hi friends, welcome to Wake Up the World. I'm Miss Hannah and I'm so excited about our superhero theater story. Plus, there's just so much fun stuff that's coming up and you're going to love it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Unpopular Opinions. Have you ever been to a party or in the lunchroom and you had an opinion and everyone else disagreed and thought you were crazy? Well, that is what this segment is all about. And I have 3 videos for us to watch and I want to see what you guys think. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So our first one is from Miss Jill. Here we go.
My unpopular opinion is I do not like Star Wars. I don't want to watch any of the movies. I don't want to dress up like them. I don't want to talk about them. I don't care about Star Wars and it's so overrated. Don't hate me.
Guys.
That's actually a common opinion. For as many people who love Star Wars, there's a lot of people who just, they don't get it, you know.
I think I've only seen one.
Great.
And now everybody wants little baby Yodas, and I don't understand.
That's from The Mandalorian.
Right. Is this different? This is different.
It makes me so sad. I love Star Wars. I do. I really do. And I feel like we should hear the dun 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 because he's coming after her. If you don't like it, he's coming after you.
Yes. 3 is like, I don't even know what that is.
I was just gonna ask you who was gonna come after us.
That's Darth Vader.
I know.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Hi, my name is Miss Allie, and I think that cats are better than dogs.
Dogs, cats.
I feel like there's as many cat people as there are dog people. I like dogs better. Cats don't do anything. They just lay around. They don't play,
They just judge you all day long is what they do.
Yeah. She loves it, that's great. I prefer a dog.
I
Okay.
like elephants.
Elephant. Crazy. Okay. Next one. Here we go. From Miss Delaney.
Hey Ridgekids, it's Miss Delaney here, and I have an unpopular opinion for you. Are you ready? I love to put mustard on my mac and cheese. It's just so good. And if you think it's gross, you should try it. It's so good.
What?
Not like that.
Mustard on mac and cheese? Why would you disrespect mac and cheese like that by putting mustard?
I've never tried it, but I'm not so.
Try it and let me know what you think.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, friends. That's been Unpopular Opinions, and I love laughing with you guys. This was a good one. All right. We'll have more to come.
Bye.
You're always with us. You never said you had enough. You never give up, no matter what comes. You're always faithful, and you're more than able. You always finish what you begun. Oh, you're never gonna quit working on me. Oh, making me all that I can be. I'll keep on trusting in the one who never will give up on me. Never ever gonna give up, never gonna give up on me. I'll keep on trusting in the one who you had enough. You never give up no matter what comes. You're always faithful and you're more than able. You'll always finish what you've begun. Oh, you're never gonna quit working on me. Oh, making me all that I can be. I'll keep on trusting in the one who never will give up on me. Never ever gonna give up, never gonna give up on me. I'll keep on trusting in the one who never will give up on me. Never ever gonna give up, never gonna give up on me. You never tire or sleep, you're always faithful to me. In everything you begin, you will complete it. You never tire or sleep, you're always faithful to me. In everything you begin, you will complete it. Oh, you're never gonna quit working on me. Oh, making me all that I can be. I'll keep on trusting in the one who never will give up on me. Never ever gonna give up, never gonna give up on me. I'll keep on trusting in the one who never will give up on me. Never ever gonna give up, never gonna give up on me. Yeah, yeah. You're never gonna quit working on me, making me all that I can be. Oh, you're never gonna quit working on me, working on me, working on me.
Does anyone remember the story of Joseph and his colorful coat? Well, today's story starts 200 years later. The family of Joseph had grown, and they were called the Israelites, or also the Hebrews. Now, Joseph's family had babies. Who had babies? Who had babies? And they grew and grew and grew and grew in number. And now there were so many Israelites, they couldn't even be counted. Most of the Israelites lived in Egypt, where the Egyptians lived as well. Now, the Israelites and the Egyptians, they just couldn't see each other the same. And so you will find out that the Israelites and the Egyptians were treated very differently. Anyway, a new king who was called Pharaoh came into power in Egypt. He didn't like it that there were so many Israelites, and he thought they would one day take over the land. So he decided to make all the Israelites into slaves. He made them work from early in the morning all the way till late at night. It didn't matter if the Israelites were tired. The Egyptians worked them harder. It was very bad. Pharaoh did all this, and he still wasn't happy. The Israelites were growing in number, so he decided to make a law. If any boys were born to the Israelites, he would have them killed. At this time, there was a couple going to have a baby. Now, when they had the baby boy, whose name was later going to be Moses, they hid him. They couldn't let anyone kill their precious baby boy. They hid Moses for 3 months. But as Moses got older, he didn't sleep as much, and he started crying more. So they decided to do the only thing they could do. They made a basket, which was kind of like a baby boat, and they surrounded the inside of the basket with blankets, and they placed baby Moses in the basket. And then they went to the Nile River in the reeds, and they placed him in the river. Baby Moses had a sister named Miriam, and she watched from a distance to see what would happen to her baby brother. While she was watching, she saw someone coming. She realized it was Pharaoh's daughter and her servant. They were dressed like they were famous, and she had seen her before and remembered what she looked like. Pharaoh's daughter had come for a swim. While she was swimming, she noticed a basket floating a little ways away in the tall grass. So she asked one of her servants to go see what it was. The girl brought the basket over to her. And when Pharaoh's daughter opened the basket, the light startled Moses and he started to cry. What a beautiful, sweet little baby. It must be one of the Israelites, she said. Miriam had seen what had happened, and she hurried over and asked, "Would you like me to go find an Israelite woman to feed the baby for you?" "Yes, go and find someone who can nurse the baby," she answered. Miriam ran as fast as she could and told her mother that Pharaoh's daughter had found him and wanted someone to come nurse him. They went and found Moses with Pharaoh's daughter, and she asked them, "Please help me and nurse this baby, and I will pay you for helping." She didn't realize that this was actually Moses' mother. Later, he became the son to Pharaoh's daughter. That's when she named him Moses, which means she brought him out of the water.
Oh, hi, Mr. Chris. You at Subway?
Yeah, I was waiting on the sub to get done. Sitting outside.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm back.
Now we have Holly. Hi, Miss Holly.
Hello.
I got Mr. Chris and Miss Holly with me at #Bring It All Together. This is the time that we come together and talk about life and the story. And we lost Mr. Chris again.
I'm back.
And we talk about why it all matters. How are we today, friends? How are you?
Good.
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 Good. How are you?
I'm excited about being here with you guys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was at Subway, I'm thinking about food. What's your guys' favorite snack? Think about it. I like combos. I like cheddar cheese pretzel combo. No other kind though.
Favorite snack? Probably a Cheez-It.
Yeah.
A plain Cheez-It or a white cheddar?
A plain Cheez-It, sir. The original is always best.
No, white cheddar is so much better. White cheddar is better.
What? No, that sounds gross.
I'm on a plantain chips kick.
Plantain chips!
Is that weird? I really love them. They're crunchy and delicious.
I just love snacks, especially those original Cheez-Its. I'm telling you, they're the best. But I always want to eat them when I'm watching a great show, which, like this one, it's time to recap the story of baby Moses. You guys ready? Here we go. Drum roll! Recap of baby Moses. Okay, so Pharaoh is in Egypt, and there are a lot of people being born, namely the Israelites. And he, all of a sudden, is super afraid that this army is going to rise up and take over his country. So what does he do? Something horrible, something terrible. He decides that all the newborn baby boys should be put to death. I mean, that's just awful. And this is when Moses is born. So his parents decide they're gonna hide him for as long as possible to keep him safe. But eventually they couldn't hide him any longer. So they tell Miriam, his sister, can you imagine this? Miriam to take baby Moses in a basket and place him in the Nile River.
Wow.
What? But lo and behold, who finds Moses in the river? But Pharaoh's very own daughter. She takes him and decides she will adopt him as her own. And now, get this, Pharaoh, who wanted to kill Moses, is now his granddad. I mean, come on. Only that can happen in the Bible. That's crazy.
What I love most about this story is that the baby Moses, like the one in the basket in the river, is the same Moses that grows up to be one of those heroes in the Bible, the ones that God uses to do such amazing things. Let's talk about some of those things. The first thing that came to my mind was when God talked to Moses through fire, like through the fire in a bush. He told him to take off his shoes, and he's like, God was actually speaking words to him through fire, like crazy. What else do you guys remember about Moses?
Well, the 10 Commandments, right? Who can forget that? When after God speaks to him in the burning bush, he tells Moses, you're going to be the one to free my people from Pharaoh in Egypt. And God does this through Moses by sending 10 terrible plagues to Egypt. You can't forget that.
Well, then you have the Red Sea situation where like Pharaoh is like, after he let them go, he decides that he's going to change his mind and go after them. and Moses is like leading them to the Red Sea, and God tells Moses to like stretch his staff out, and then literally the waters just like split open and they walked through. They walked through. But then when Pharaoh and them came behind, that's all I'm gonna say.
Gone. Yes.
They were gone.
Yeah, and then he led them, like God led them through Moses to be on the path to go to the land that he promised to them, this promised land situation, which lasted a really long time before we got there, but Moses led them to that path that would eventually lead to God's promised land. Amazing.
God worked through Moses in amazing ways. If you want to look up all those stories we just talked about, all you have to do is look in the book of Exodus in the Old Testament.
I love it. I love how God was with Moses, you know, and through it all, from the beginning, through all the crazy situations. And if you think about Joshua 1:9, Joshua chapter 1, verse 9 says, "This is my command, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." God was definitely with baby Moses in this story, and he continued to be with him through his whole life. He's with us wherever we go. You know, no matter where we are. If we're at Chuck E. Cheese, if we're at a Tigers game, well, he's there.
Yeah, it's so true.
I love that. I love that.
I don't know if he goes to Lions games though. I think
Nobody goes to Lions games right now. Oh, friends. Good work. Thank you for helping us. Hashtag bring it all together. Next week, another story.
Yeah.
And more connections. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you then.
Bye, friends.
What's up, guys? Mr. Chris coming to you with a brand new segment, Questions from Ridgekids. You guys get to submit questions about the Bible, about God, about Jesus, and we're going to do our best to answer them, okay? So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. This first question is from Hadley.
Hey, Mr. Chris. My name's Hadley. I have a question for you. When does God come back to Earth?
So, Hadley's question is, when does God come back to Earth? When does Jesus return? Well, I'm going to give you a couple scriptures, 3 specific statements I want to tell you, and then we'll move on. Number 1, when the gospel is preached to the entire world, Matthew chapter 24, verse 14 says, "And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world so that all nations will hear it." Number 2, war and natural disaster will happen all over the world. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7 says, "Nation will go to war with nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in all parts of the world." Famine means they just don't have any food and they're really, really hungry, okay? Now, last but not least, even though we hear all that, Matthew chapter 24, verse 36 says this, "However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen. Not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows." Which means that as much as we may be able to look at all these signs, the only person who really knows when God is going to come back is God. Let's move on to our next question. It's from Miranda.
Hey, Mr. Chris. My name's Miranda. I have a question for you. How does it take 3 days for Jesus to come back to life?
All right. So, how does it take 3 days for Jesus to come back? Or what went on in the 3 days that Jesus was gone? Well, 2 reasons why I believe it took 3 days for Jesus to come back. Number 1, and this is the big one, Jesus made a prophecy saying that he would be dead for 3 days and return. Where did he say it? Once again, Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. "For as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights." Okay? So to keep the word that he had already said, he had to do it that way. Number 2, I believe it was also to prove that he was actually dead and came back to life. Had Jesus died that day and came back the very next day, it probably would have made people doubt that he actually died and came back to life, because people were already speculating or making up rumors that the apostles or his followers were going to go steal his body and make it look like he had been resurrected. So the way to prove them all wrong was to stay gone for 3 full days and come back with all power in his hands. That's my opinion.
Now, I challenge you to read it for yourself with your parents and see what you guys can find too. All right? With that being said, this was Questions from Ridgekids. I'm Mr. Chris. I'll see you next time.
Wow, that was so great. This is the same Moses that God used to split the sea and save the Israelite people. He goes on to basically be a superhero that God uses in so many amazing ways. Make sure to come back next week because I am so excited. And don't just sit there, go wake up the world.
Today's show would not be possible without the support of the following people, places, or things. A special thanks to the Hulk for portraying the character of Pharaoh. Shout out to Mustard for making mac and cheese so yummy. Ugh. We can't forget Miss Hannah. Couldn't do it without you. That's it for this week. Hit the thumbs up button and we'll see you soon.